Was that what you call a masterpiece, Conor? Not your best, was it, mate? This could take some sorting out, this one. The UFC world's been shocked, hasn't it? Wow. UFC 257 from Fight Island. Dana White's, lovely Fight Island. There probably won't be any clips in this video because I don't want Big Bad Dana to come after me, but wow, Poirier's done it. He's successfully knocked out and finished Conor McGregor, which, we'll get to all that. We'll get to the fight. We'll get to the backlash. We'll get to, obviously, the image that's going around and, Khabib's responding. We'll just, see what happened from quite a shocking revelation in the lightweight division and mainly for McGregor's career. Poirier exacts his revenge, so let's get into it. Well, let's have a look at it then. So obviously, as we can see here, for the first time in Conor McGregor's career, he has been knocked out. He's been subbed before, as we know, famously by Khabib Nurmagomedov and, Nate Diaz previously. And yeah, I mean, first off, got to give Dustin Poirier incredible credit for that fight, because the first round was, he took him down, Conor recovered, and he got up, and then there were some strikes, and I think Conor won the first round, and then Dustin Poirier just put it on him in midway through the second round. Yeah, Conor missed with a couple. I don't know now. We'll get into it in a bit later, but then that big right just put Conor down, and then it was just on him, and then Herb Dean stepped in, and we got one of the finishes that probably not many people expected. I mean, all the money that went on Conor, I think it was like 89% of money on some of them. Some of the sports books in America was on Conor, so wow, fair play. So yeah, you've obviously got this photo, which is probably going to be dominating your timelines for the coming days. Obviously, it's a pretty iconic meme now already. It's only been a couple hours, but yeah, no, you obviously had Khabib respond. He was a bit feisty with his response about Conor. Obviously, I mean they've got a lot of history, but yeah, I think it's time that we have a look at Conor's career and maybe where he can go from here, because I don't think the Khabib fight is anywhere near now, and I don't think it should be. So obviously, I thought here we just have a quick look at the recent record of Conor McGregor. So I'd obviously going back, but it doesn't make for good reading. You're looking at him. He's had, what is it, three fights in the last 3 years. 4 if you go back to Eddie Alvarez since 2016, which is almost 5 years now. It's four and a bit years. He's had 4 fights, and that's just not. I mean, how can you expect to build up I know he's had a boxing match in between that, but how can you expect to come back to world championship form when you've had 4 fights? I mean, you got smoked by Khabib. I mean, you fought Donald Cerrone, who was an old man stuck in the mud, as you used to say. He was, because he's old now. And, you demolished him inside 40 seconds. Literally on 40 seconds. And then you come back over a year later, well, just almost a year, just over a year later, and you go in there with Diamond Dustin Poirier, who's been fighting, who's been active for this entire period, and you just look ring rust. I mean, you can put it down to ring rust, you could talk about being outclassed. I mean, however you want to put it down to, he just didn't look good enough on the day. And I mean, he says he wants to continue fighting, but you've got to seriously ask, is it right for him to continue fighting? I know he's a fighter, and he's going to want to fight, and, maybe like Tyson Fury, he's a fighting man. He's going to want to go for it. But, I mean, I'm a bit lost with who's he going to fight. I mean, we'll have a look at the rankings in a second, but, I mean, there's not too many options out there for him. I mean, you've got the Nate Diaz trilogy, you've got the Dustin Poirier trilogy. I think Khabib, the whole Khabib thing needs to be taken off the table. First off, Khabib, who knows if he's going to come back. I think he should personally stay in retirement. The guy's the greatest lightweight, if not the greatest fighter. That's for another topic for another video. But I mean, when you look at it, unless Conor just wants to get more money, which at this point, who knows, that might just be his motivation. I mean, I doubt it. I think he's been one of the best fighters we've seen in the history of the UFC, especially that featherweight run that he went on. You know, going from, you know, Brandao, the fight, you know, and then he fought Holloway when he was young, and you know he had an injury, but he would have beat him, and then he beat Poirier again, as you can see. Then obviously, you know, you know, you're looking at it, and then he's gone on to Dennis Siver. Then he obviously had the fight with Chad Mendes, and then the 13-second fight with Jose Aldo. I mean, the featherweight run is, you know, unmatched by, you know, most of that championship run that he went on for those 2 years was unparalleled almost. Obviously, you know, then he had his Nate Diaz fights, and you know, but what motivation has he got? Is it money? I'm sure he loves fighting. Is it fighting? Is it getting back his belt that he lost? Is it, you know, we need to know what he wants to do, because it might get to the stage where he's obviously too big for the sport, and you know he's got a family now. Does he want to be doing this? And yeah, you know, just to finish, I thought we just have a look at the power rankings, and obviously just to touch back on the fight. You know, I was speaking to someone about this, and you look at the fight stylistically, they're both. I mean, Conor's a very good boxer. You know, Poirier's improved massively in his boxing. You know, he's got his grappling, his takedowns, and you know, just you thought, if we know McGregor's weaknesses, and we know they're mostly on the ground. And he's had good defense, but we know his weakness as well as his gas tank, which clearly was probably one of the biggest issues. He, you know, led to his downfall in the end. But listen, Poirier, fantastic, rightfully second. Maybe he should go up to first in the division again. You know, as the #1 contender. I think if Khabib's gonna stay away from the sport, then, you know, if this retirement is serious, I think Gaethje needs to fight Poirier, and we need to have a true champion. And then, you know, Charles Oliveira could fight Chandler, who's just come in and rocked Dan Hooker. And then, you know, McGregor and Ferguson could have a big money fight. That would be, you know, maybe they could fight and, you know, scrap out the rest. But I think lightweight needs to see what Khabib is doing, see if he's going to fight, whatever's going on with him. And then we can just go from there with that division, and, you know, where it goes. Obviously, like I said, this was a bit hard to swallow, because obviously I'm a McGregor fan, not just because, you know, I've been watching him for years, and you know, watching him all the way through that featherweight run, and it was incredible to see. And you know, it's one of those losses that you just got to take on the chin. But you know, I'm sure we'll be back. But you know, let's hope it's in the right mindset and fitness the next time. So yeah, I think that's it for today. You know, it was a great fight, great victory for Poirier, and you know, hopefully more content to come from here. You know, please like and subscribe. You know, the usual comment. I'm sure there'll be comments about this, and yeah, safe.